In this video, you're going to see Kevin and I talking about your roadmap to growth for 2023. We really dive into the Bomb Bomb Studios and give everyone not only just a drive-by, but actually show you how you can leverage Bomb Bomb Studios to really set yourself up for success and really grow video in your business in 2023. But more so than just the drive-by of Bomb Bomb Studios, we actually leave with you with some tactical strategies for growth, both some tactical strategies for growing with technology, but also some strategies for growing your reach in 2023, all using video. Hope you enjoy it. Well, one of the questions that we like to ask around here a lot is, if you could get face-to-face with more people, would that help your business grow? Right? I think it's a pretty standard yes. I can't see your heads nodding. I've never had someone tell me no to that question, right? Absolutely, no doubt, right? We know this. We know that the ability of our business to grow is dependent on more people seeing us, knowing us, liking us, being exposed to us. And so regardless of where you are starting in your Bomb Bomb video journey, whether you are a non-customer and you've never recorded one video, or you've been a customer for years, we know that if you commit to just growing some of your video skills a little bit, either using some more features or trying in some more places in your business, getting in front of more people, that it's going to really help you grow in 2023. So today, we just want to help you have a path to growth, right? We want to give you some places where you can go to grow. We're going to give you some training, and we're just going to have some fun with that today. So Kevin, anything you want to add there?
The only thing I was thinking as you were talking through that is that we probably would argue this at all times, but I think this might even be more true now than it has been for a long period of time. There was times when we were all locked in our homes in quarantine. It was really true then too, right? But with all of the changes, all of the challenges that are going on in the economy right now, all of those sort of things that we cannot control, what is the one thing we can control? It's the relationship. It's getting to know people. It's investing people, spending time, allowing us to build that trust and rapport. That is something that nobody can take away from us. And I think that's what really excites me about all of this stuff. My wife owns her own business. You guys have heard me talk about her before. And it's tough right now, right? If you have to do anything that has to do with the housing market, it's hard. There is just no way around it. But you can lean into people. You can establish relationships. You can get to know them. Will that necessarily turn into a closing or a loan right now? Maybe not. But these things pan out. These things build up on each other. And so I'm just excited because I think it's a really, really amazing time to lean into this on a heavy note.
Yeah. Well, so this is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to start talking a little bit about just some background on the film industry and maybe why Kevin and I have some insight there. We're going to talk about BB Studios because this is a training platform that Kevin has actually spent a long time working on getting this to a place where you guys are able to really log in and have an incredible training experience. And so we're going to let Kevin show you around Bomb Bomb Studios, how to get there, what you'll find in there, and then how to find your way around and really set yourself up for a successful learning track. And then we're going to pull some of those best practices and features from Bomb Bomb Studios, those courses that people are already taking, that are really loving the courses that we're getting great feedback on. We want to share some strategies from those courses for you. It's going to be a little teaser. We're not going to go super, super deep because there's so much contained in there. And then we're going to save time for Q&A. So let's jump into this. Kevin, you and I have never really talked about this in front of all of our customers before. They see us every single month get on here, but you and I both have a background as professional actors.
We do. And it's funny. This has been a deep dive down memory lane this last couple of weeks, getting prepped for this, Alicia. I'm sure you have felt the same way. I mean, I look at your headshot and it just makes me grin from ear to ear, knowing that little, 12-year-old Alicia, 10-year-old Alicia.
That was like 12-year-old Alicia. Yeah.
It's just, it makes me so happy because I had that same headshot. I got it at a really young age. You go through a crazy journey, and I'm not going to go through my whole history of it all, but it was one of those things. I heard an ad on a radio. I was like, oh, that sounds fun. and decided, hey, mom, I'm going to go do this, and just kind of took the initiative, signed up. It ended up getting me to go to New York to do some really fun kind of acting competitions. I did a bunch of theater here. And then ultimately it kind of culminated in me moving to LA. For those of you that don't know, I lived in Los Angeles for 10 years pursuing acting. That was the sole focus, right? Now, that sounds really, really glamorous. And I promise you it's not as glamorous as you think. It was a ton of ups and downs, and got to do some really fun movies and work with some recognizable names, got to do some commercials and great things. But man, it was a wild ride. And so I think what's probably the most heartwarming for me as I think back on my history and how I've gotten to my role here at BombBomb is I went to a 2-year acting conservatory where all I did 12 hours a day was act. And we learned voice techniques, and we learned how to do stage combat where we were fake sword fighting with each other. Who gets to do that as a class? Like, it was so much fun, right? But what's really, really, I think, neat when I think of my life as a whole is to go, holy cow, so much of that stuff makes sense for what I get to do now.
Totally.
With, as we dive into BombBomb Studios and talk more about that, the amount of knowledge and the amount I've gotten to go back into my old books and my old learning and all of this stuff, and pull on some of that knowledge. I mean, I calculated the hours a couple of years ago. I've spent over 12,000 hours in acting classes. Holy cow, that's a lot of time, right? Now, does that mean I've mastered this? Absolutely not. But I do have some knowledge to bring from that. So it's so fun to be able to pull something that I'm passionate about, that I care about, and that I've also learned a lot about and invested in, and be able to use that to help people like yourselves. They're not trying to be actors or actresses, right? You're just trying to be successful. And as video comes into this play, how do we use some of those tools to also help all of you be more successful? That equation and finding those puzzle pieces just absolutely thrills me. Talk about your journey a little bit, Alicia, because I know you started obviously really young as well.
Yeah. So I grew up in Vancouver, British Columbia, which is known as Hollywood North. Tons of things are filmed in Vancouver. In fact, the amount of movies that I watch that I'm like, yep, that's Vancouver, because I can pick out the vegetation right away. So like I just, my entire life as a small child, I just knew that I wanted to be on camera. I wanted to be on stage. It was something inside of me. And I started begging my parents, probably around like 10 or 11, to please let me get an agent, right? Like just begging them. And my family was not one that like had a lot of money for extracurriculars. I was the youngest of 3 children. Like, it was a stretch, but my parents, they took me to an agency, New Image in Vancouver. And I charmed the agent right away. And they were like, yeah, we want to sign her. And I, got headshots and started taking some classes. And, the audition process is brutal. And you go to audition after audition after audition and get rejected. And that's part of being an actor. I was not set up for reality, because the very first audition that I went on, I got cast as a lead in a series. So it was a children's series. It was called LWTV. This was in the 90s. So it was about a group of like kids club kids that were making a show for other kids. Like, think like iCarly, but in the 90s, that kind of thing. So anyway, I got a chance to do that as like a 12 and 13-year-old, and fell in love with that, and didn't do a ton of professional work after that through high school, and got married. I had planned on going to LA. That was always my dream. Instead, I met a boy, got married, had a bunch of babies, and then didn't really get back into it until like 2012, when my kids were a little bit older and I felt like I had the space to kind of get back into it. So, I've always done it, but much like you said, it's been so fulfilling to have the experience and the things that I've learned from the time that I've spent on sets and in front of camera and teaching classes and teaching actors, to be able to bring that into my role here, to share some of that like on camera presence and confidence building. And it's just been such a gift to take this thing that I love, that, I kind of got to a point where you did, where I was like, I can't make money and support my kids doing this thing, so I need a real job, but I still love it. And to be able to bring that into this is great. So that's just sort of the background on how Kevin and I got here. I'm going to very embarrassingly show you a quick commercial from 2012. Kevin was going to try and find something too, but he couldn't. So he doesn't get to embarrass himself, just me.
I'll leave that up to you today.
And then we're going to jump right into the training. If it plays. Oh, it's not playing. So that one we're not going to show.
Maybe there will be no embarrassment today.
No
How about
embarrassment today. All that to say, no matter where you're starting, Kevin and I both had a background as professional actors when we came into BombBomb. We weren't hired at BombBomb because we were professional actors. We both started in support and kind of grew into these roles. But even us had to start somewhere. And our first BombBomb videos were not great. So I'll show you mine and then I'll show you Kevin's. And then we're going to talk into how you can grow with us as well and how you can get better, much like Kevin and I still had to get better on doing this kind of simple video.
Hi, this is Alicia Baruti, and I am thrilled to be a new team member on the client success team. 3 interesting things about myself. The first one is that I was a child actor, like totally legit, up in Canada in Vancouver. I was on a children's video series. Second unique, interesting thing, in November of this past year, 2014, I went to Ethiopia with a NGO and got a chance to work in their clinic and help out with what they were doing there, and slept in a village on the floor of a dirt hut for 3 nights.
I'm just rambling. One of the reasons why it's a bad video. I'm going to go ahead and play Kevin for you too.
Well, luckily mine's pretty quick. But...
Thanks for the video. Trust me, I'm not offended at all. You can call me new guy for the entire time that I work here if you want to. It was so nice to meet you. Thanks for swinging by and saying hi yesterday. And yeah, look forward to seeing you next week. Hope everything's good. All right, thanks. Bye.
Yours wasn't so bad.
I mean, the funny thing about it is they're not bad, but they're also like, I don't think anybody would look at those videos and be like, oh, I'm nailing it. You know, like I've got this down. And I think that's the point of why you wanted to bring some of these up, Alicia, in this conversation, is to let people know you're all starting from scratch. I think no matter what industry you're in, there is a desire for us to do things amazing the first time. But if you're in real estate, think about the first time that you had to do a walkthrough of a home. Think about the first time that you had to do a market analysis. Was it perfect? Nope. You had to do it a bunch and learn it, right? The first time you had to write up a loan for somebody, if you're in the mortgage industry, I guarantee there were hiccups along the way and there was a lot of questions and you had to have people helping you. That's what we want to establish and let you know. No matter how many videos you've done, there's always room for growth, but don't expect yourself to be perfect the first time or really at any point in this journey. There's always that growth that has to come along. And we have been taking that journey with you. We happen to be, 9,000 videos each into it. So we've learned a lot in that time, but just know that it's okay that they're not perfect. And that's exactly why we're talking today.
Yep. So let's talk a little bit about change behavior and growing new habits, because that's what we're going to be asking you to do. This is how you're going to grow in your BombBomb journey, is actually committing to learning new things, right? Like the number one problem that people have with BombBomb is that they don't use it. Right? That's what we hear from people over and over and over again. I love BombBomb. I'm just not using it enough. Or, I used to use BombBomb so much and then I kind of fell off and I need to get back into it. So what we really want to help you with today is committing to a plan for growth. Because if you just come today and you're like, oh yeah, BombBomb Studios is there. Yeah, I think I do. I really want to grow in video in 2023. That seems like something I want to do. And if that's where you leave it, it's not going to happen. So let's talk about what the science says, because there's a lot of science behind changing your behavior. And one of the things that I found in this article, I pulled this data from this article. It was written by James Clear, and the article was called Master One Thing. But the science says that you are 2 to 3 times more likely to stick with your habit if you make a specific plan for when, where, and how you're going to implement the new habit. And that doesn't seem so bad, right? 2 to 3 times more likely to stick with it as long as I just make a specific plan. So what I really want to encourage you all to do, that if you're going to commit to growing in your video journey with us in 2023, that you need to have an implementation intention. And that would look like putting it on your calendar. Something as simple as during the month of January, I'll partake in at least 20 minutes of BombBomb training on Tuesday at 9 a.m., sitting in front of my computer at my office. Right? Like writing down that statement and putting it on your calendar. The science says that you're 2 to 3 times more likely to stick with it if you just do that one thing. Pretty cool, right? However, there's one caveat here. And that caveat is that you have to focus on one thing at one time. Okay. So this isn't just like, oh, I'm going to put BombBomb training on my calendar at 9 a.m. on Tuesdays and then just kind of log in there and jump around and see what jumps out at me. Okay. This is being really intentional about what you're going to work on and focus on that one thing at a time. And BombBomb Studios actually makes it really easy to do that because of the way the learning tracks are set up. So I'm going to let Kevin take over and jump into BombBomb Studios. But before we jump in to learning about all of the ways that you can really grow and go down these driving tracks, I want you to understand that the science is telling you if you want to make this as a habit, you got to be specific about when you're going to work on it. You got to hold yourself accountable, and you need to start focusing on the areas where you feel like you need to grow first.
I think one of the hard things with that point, Alicia, and as I jump in and I'll share my screen to show you guys how to access this and how to find it and how to use it, is that it's really hard to know what to learn sometimes, right? I don't know if you've ever felt that. You're like, I want to grow in this area. I want to improve in this area, but I'm not sure where to start or what to do. Well, that's exactly why we've kind of built this. One of my big initiatives in working in enablement here at BombBomb is that you as the client are able to learn the way that you want to learn. Because I know that there's no one size fits all for everybody, right? So some of you may see this BombBomb Studios feature here, which first and foremost, if you have a BombBomb membership, you have free access to BombBomb Studios. This is not an add-on. You're not paying anything for it. This is here to try to help enable you to learn in the way that you want. But you may see this and go, I don't know if that's the right fix for me, right? I don't know if that makes the most sense for the way that I learn. That's okay. We're going to talk about, a handful of different things, and we've got some other great resources too. But I do think there's a lot in this that will be really exciting for you. So how do we even find this? How is this something that's interesting? Well, there's a couple of different access points. The ones that I'm going to show you are from within your BombBomb account. So if you log into your BombBomb web app on your computer, like I have pulled up right here, one, you'll see a little button right here on your dashboard. Now, I know not every membership has the dashboard. So if this looks completely foreign to you, that's okay. You might just have a different membership level that doesn't show this. A lot of them do, but not all of them do. So this button right here is one way you can access it. The other way, where I think most people are finding it based on the data that I've been looking at, is if you hover over your name and you get this little drop-down menu, there's a link right here that says BombBomb Studios. So all you have to do is click on that. Now, I do want to give you a caveat. If you have not logged into BombBomb Studios ever before, there will be a small window that says, are you willing to give permission for BombBomb to access you in? We're not taking anything from your computer. We're not asking for specific information. What that is we use a thing called a single sign-on, because we host our BombBomb Studios in a different software than BombBomb directly. However, we don't want to make you build a login and a password. We all know we have plenty of those in our lives, right? We don't need more of those. So we're going to allow you to use your BombBomb login and password to access this system. That's why that little middle screen is there. You'll click an orange button that says, yes, I give access to this. And then this is where it's going to show you up to, right directly into BombBomb Studios. Now, I'm not going to play any of this content for you because we're here to kind of talk you through it. But if you're curious what the heart of BombBomb Studios is, we recorded a little video to give you some context as to why this is here. Our tagline here is ultimately what I want you to hear the most. The idea of this is for it to be simple. It's all about you and your learning and the learning that you need wrapped around video. So simply video, simply you, that's kind of the whole message of this. Now, once you're here, how the heck do we navigate this? Well, Alicia was talking about some learning paths. One of the big focuses in the rebranding and the rebuilding of this is that we help direct you based on what you want to learn. First and foremost, we talked to you about our acting background, and we want to play on that and have some fun with this in BombBomb Studios. And so we've built a simple video producer path. Now you can see all of these are acting terms, are terms within the industry, right? Actor, DP, set designer, screenwriter, editor. But in the middle here, you can see, what is that going to teach me? It's going to teach me some on-camera techniques, right? This whole actor course is up and live, and you can sign up for it right now. Maybe you have more questions about the behind the camera stuff. What camera do I need? What microphone should I use? How do I pick the right angle? What framing is right? These are all big questions that are hard to know with our simple style of video, right? Because you don't want to overthink any of this. But we can also improve our videos if we do think through some pieces of this, right?
Well,
so
and,
that's, yeah, go ahead,
these
Alicia.
are questions that we get all the time in chat, right? Like the what kind of camera should I be using, or where should I position my camera, or what about my background? Like, what should be behind me? These are questions that we get all the time, and we've just set them up in a really easy way, or Kevin has set them up in a really easy way for you to navigate through that step by step.
So hopefully these are really fun. Now, these courses, I want you to know that we've built courses in different formulas as well. Again, depending on what you want to learn. These are bigger courses. These are for those of you that have done, 15, 20, 25 videos in your BombBomb account, and you're like, I want to dive in. I really want to become the best I can be in these areas. That's where I would recommend this simple video producer path. If you've never recorded a video before, do you need to go start learning all of the acting terms on how you can be the best on camera? No, let's get over the hump of recording some videos and getting them out first, because it's not about perfection. And that's where some of these learning paths down here below start to come into place. Maybe you're sitting there going, okay, I am brand new to this. I'm not sure exactly what to do. I just want to learn how to use X feature, right? You can see a whole scroll bar of our Chrome extension, contacts, our mobile app, personal insights. Maybe you go, I just want to learn the screen recorder. Wonderful. You can come in, and we have very short feature specific courses in this feature path here about a specific feature. So about the screen recorder. And they've been built with a really simple formula that you've heard a million times. Why should I use it? How do I use it? When are good opportunities that I should think about this? And what are some tips and tricks, right? One of the things we've learned from onboarding large enterprise teams and individual users like a lot of you here is that they want to learn, what have you learned in your years using video? What are some tips that I don't have to start from scratch? That's why we've included a lot of those in there. So here's a couple of best practices to throw them in. You can see there's timelines on a lot of these. You can get through every single one of these feature courses in 15 minutes. If that's your goal, is to get in, like Alicia said, I want to schedule 20 minutes a month where I learn something new. Boom, you can be in and out and using that feature effectively in under 15, 20 minutes without missing a beat. So those are really for those of you that like to get in, learn, and move on. And they're filled with videos. There is some text in there for those of you that are more visual learners and want to read through and understand the steps and those sort of things. But these feature courses are really, really awesome. And we've already seen a lot of people really enjoy and learn from those. Maybe you're somebody that goes, okay, I get the basics. I know how to record. What do I do with it? This next feature path here is based around best practices, right? What are some best practices around specific strategies? And Alicia, I know we're going to talk a little bit more about some of these and give some direct strategies in this webinar as well. But you can see things like branding, right? How do I establish and bring my branding for brand consistency into my video messaging? Great. How do I get better email engagement, more opens? How do I get more video plays? How do I use more flexibility with the mobile app, right? There's a lot of features tied into these because, yeah, that's what we're doing. We're showing you how to use BombBomb with these strategies. But those are there for those of you that are going, I want to learn from a strategy mindset. And maybe neither of those fit you. Maybe you're just going, all right, I signed up for this membership. I'm not sure what I can do. Great. We've organized it by membership type for you as well. So if you just want to go, what do I have access to? You can sit here and go, I'm in the BombBomb Essentials membership. I'm going to go through this and learn some of the things that are here. I'm in the BombBomb Plus membership. What features do I have that are not accessible in that lower one? And how do I learn those? Well, the contacts tab is one of them, right? So that's one you can specifically learn for mass sending and larger sending. How can I use the contacts tab? How do I get people loaded in? What's beautiful about this is you can see and you can track and you can understand what are the things that I'm learning. Back up here, once you start signing up for courses, you can look at my learning and just go, what have I completed? What am I partway through? What have I not completed? I actually just got one more piece finished on BombBomb Studios because this has been a couple month build. of guess what? If you complete a course, you now immediately get emailed credentials and a certificate to say, congratulations, you have finished this course. You now have earned something. And then what do you do with it? You let people know. You can share it on social media. You can email it to people if you want to. You can share that credential wherever you want to. And it's really to just help you feel really good about the time that you're putting in, about the expertise that you're building. Do you need to put in 12,000 hours of acting classes to be good on simple video? Absolutely not. Can 15 minutes make a huge difference for your journey and building your relationships? Yes. And so that's what I want you guys to see about this. This is a huge baby of mine that I'm really, really excited about. We're constantly building new stuff. I'm literally working on this set designer course as we speak. I was recording videos for it yesterday. So we're constantly going to be bringing new content, iterating content, bringing new strategies, listening to you as the clients on what do you want? What do you want to learn? What do you need to learn to grow through this? So it really is here free of charge for you, as long as your membership is active with BombBomb, to say, here are some different ways you can grow. Here's how you can think about it. Here's how you can approach your growth. Because ultimately, the more of this stuff you know, the less hurdles there are for you to be recording video, the less nervousness, the less self-consciousness, the more you're going to be getting in front of people and building those relationships. And like Alicia talked about earlier, that's the heart of this. Is you in front of more people, you face-to-face is going to build more trust. It's going to build more business. We see it time and time again over the last 15 plus years we've been here at BombBomb. And so this is just another avenue that we can provide you to continue to help that growth. I just threw a lot of stuff out there. So Alicia, what did I miss? What are things that you want to add to that as we continue to work through this?
Yeah, I think the most important thing to remember when you log into BombBomb Studios is to not get overwhelmed, right? This is why I wanted to remind everyone ahead of time about like focusing in, right? Focusing in on the things that you want to grow in and the things you want to learn so that you don't get overwhelmed. And you're going to get the recording of this so that you can go back and watch and review. We're going to send the follow-up email with lots of resources. But the most important thing to remember here is that it's all here for you to learn the way you want to learn, to grow in the places that you need to grow. And so we really, we're just excited. We're so excited about BombBomb Studios. Kevin is seeing really great like completion numbers on courses, and we're getting great feedback. So we're excited for you guys to be able to jump in there. But we didn't want to just say, oh, okay, so there's BombBomb Studios, go learn and send you on your way. So what we want to do is we wanted to pull some of the most popular features, some of the things. Oh, am I sharing the wrong screen?
No, you're good. You're on the right one.
We wanted to share some of the most popular features and best practices that people are using in BombBomb Studios, things that we already know are some of the most common questions. So we want to leave you with some training. We're not going to go deep into these topics today, okay? We're going to leave you with some things that you can start doing right away. And if this specific topic is appealing to you, or this is an area that you need to grow, then you're going to want to dive into BombBomb Studios to go deeper on that. But when it comes to best practices, these are definitely two of the most common questions we get, right?
Oh my gosh, yes, the thousands of times. And honestly, even on these webinars, we hosted a webinar, 4 or 5 months ago, just on getting more video plays. That's how often we get some of these questions.
Yeah. I mean, again, if you're not a BombBomb customer and you want to learn more about getting more emails opened or that, like you could go to our blog or our webinar, because we did an entire session on just this. But so these are the two most common questions: the how do I get more emails opened and how do I get more videos played? So let's dive into some best practices on getting more emails opened. Kevin, why don't you talk about Swift?
Well, this is an awesome one, honestly. So for those of you that have followed BombBomb for a while, you know we've written a couple of books, right? We wrote one a couple of years ago and then just released our human-centered communication one just over a year ago. And this Swift idea came from one of the interviews we did in our human-centered communications book. And Alicia, I know you've become really good friends with Lauren Bailey. Lauren Bailey is an absolute rock star in the sales world. If you are a salesperson on this webinar, go find her. Go look. She has started multiple organizations. She runs a great company called Girls Club that's all about women having opportunities to grow up within management in sales, because that has not been the truth for a long time. And she introduced this acronym to me for the first time. Maybe you had heard it before, but what it stands for is, so what's in it for them? This is something that I wrestle with a lot as I build a lot of these courses in BombBomb Studios. Is so much of it is self-focused on us. How do we improve? How do we speak more eloquently? How do I use this feature in a more effective way? What am I getting from this video that I'm sending out? And she really challenged, and honestly, I think that's a very sales mentality. What do I need? What's the number I need to get across, right? Alicia, you and I were both on the same sales team.
What do I write in this email to get them to give me what I want?
Yes. Right? Well, and it's just hard. It's hard in sales to not think that way to a degree. But the so what's in it for them acronym, this SWIFT acronym, really kind of put me on my heels the first time I read it, because I went, wow, what if I stopped before I send anything and literally just stop thinking about myself and think about the other person? What if I start to think about, why do they need this email? Why is this video important for them? Right? To your bullet points there, it's very human-centered, because now we're thinking of them on an equal playing field to us. We're not just sending and blasting more stuff, but it's so value-focused on going, if I was this person, why would I want this email? What's beneficial for this person? So what's in it for them? I promise you that if you think with that mindset for the final couple of minutes before you click send on an email or record a video, you will get it open more, because it's going to be more personal to them. It's going to be more intentional to what their needs are. And you're going to be thinking on a deeper level to not just have some like tagline, clickbait email subject line. You're going to be putting something that is focused and value driven directly towards them. It's really powerful, and it can be really simple. Maybe you even write the email and then reread it with the SWIFT mindset to make sure. That takes you all of 15 seconds, but it will definitely help with getting your emails open more. Talk about that second one there, the right message, right time, right recipient.
Well, and this is so important, because so many of our clients, and it's not just our clients, this is everyone in marketing. You bring everyone into your CRM, and then everyone gets blasted with the same information. But if you're not getting your emails open, right? If you're sending out communication and you're like, I don't know what to do because people just aren't opening my emails anymore, in all likelihood, you're not sending the right message to the right people at the right time. So for example, I don't want to pick on our realtors. We love our realtors. I know we've probably got a couple hundred realtors watching this session right now, but the amount of realtors that like meet me at an event, or we have some correspondence, and then they add me to their CRM, and I get just listed emails from them on a regular basis in my inbox. So I don't live in their city. I'm not looking for houses. I already have a realtor. So those messages are not coming to the right recipient at the right time. It's not the right message for me. So eventually I just stop opening those emails. And so you have to start thinking about that. And if you really want to make sure your emails are getting open, one of the best things you can do is segment your database, right? Be paying attention that you're not just sending everyone everything, right? You want to make sure you're sending the right message to the right people at the right time. If you are a lender and you're sending everyone the exact same thing, well, sending emails to people about refinancing their house that just refinanced 3 months ago maybe isn't the right message at the right time. So segmenting your database to make sure that you're not just sending everyone everything is really, really important when it comes to getting your emails opened, right? The relevance to them, that when they open their inbox and they kind of scan, they see that there's value in them for them, that it's not just, oh, I'm just on their CRM, so I get everything, right? I mean, we talk about this all the time, that if you're training people every time you send an email, if they're going to open the next one. So if I'm consistently getting emails from someone, a business that doesn't have value in it for me, and it's not the right message for me at the right time, well, I'm just going to stop opening their emails altogether.
Mm-hmm. You might give them an extra 1 or 2 tries, right? But after a certain amount of time, you're just going to go, these are not right for me. And I think what's interesting with this, and this really leads into where we're going to spend some more technical focus for you to get your emails open on subject lines, is if it's not something that I care about, it doesn't matter how good the subject line is. It doesn't matter how good that intro is. I'm not going to click on it, right? So that's where that kind of all of this comes into fruition. Now, there are very good technical things to think about for subject lines, right, Alicia? I mean, there's lots of strategies with this. I know you wanted to narrow it down to some real tactical ones. Talk through that, because I think this is something that we can all continue to work on and continue to learn from. It's easy to get lazy with this.
I mean, your subject line is really your best chance at getting your email opened, right? That is your absolute best chance, because the first thing that every single person does when they open up their inbox is we scan. Okay. We're looking, the two things that we're looking at is who it's from and what does the subject line say. And that's what we're looking at in that scan. Okay. So the first, and these are 5 best practices. We did a session when we did the session on getting your emails open. I think we shared 11 or 12 best practices. There's lots more in BB Studios on subject lines, but we don't have a ton of time. So I wanted to share my 5 best practices for subject lines. And the first one is that clarity is always better than clever. Okay. Being clear with the person about what they're going to find in the email is more beneficial to you than trying to come up with a catchy subject line that's going to like be clickbaity that they're going to click on. Okay. Clarity is always better than clever. Okay. We asked for subject lines when we were doing that session back in July or whatever, and we had lots of different ones shared, but this was a subject line that someone said was one of their favorites because it was so clear. Quick favor regarding Vitali. Vitali was a company that they recognized. Quick favor. Okay. Easy, right? That is very clear. This was one of the not so great ones. Okay. This was an organization that was trying to be clever. Okay. Not only does it not tell me anything about what's contained in the email, their cleverness was actually really offensive to people. Right? Like, that's not, I mean, you can jokingly say to someone like, oh man, I'm going to kill her. Well, you don't know who you're sending that out to. So their cleverness here was not really beneficial. So that's my first rule. Okay. Being clear is more important than trying to be cute and funny.
Well, and think about when you're being really clever, what are you hoping for? You're hoping that they'll click and open something. If they still don't care about your content, the cleverness is now just annoying.
Yep.
Right? That is not a good client experience. I have had times where I've gotten an email, I'm like, oh, that sounds funny. And I click it and I'm like, oh, they're just trying to sell me something. And now I'm like even angrier at the person because they got me into the email. And I feel like I was like tricked.
Totally.
Right?
Oh, the sales emails that have like a really personal subject line that then I open up and there's nothing personal in it. I feel the same way. I'm like duped. This wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, clear is better than clever. Your second best practice is personalize. Okay. Readers are 26% more likely to open emails with personalized subject lines. Obviously, when you are doing your mass marketing, it's harder. You can't personalize in the same way. That's when being clear is really important and not trying to be clever. But if you can personalize a subject line, you're going to get a 26% increase, right, in the opening, which brings me to my second best practice, which is video. When marketers use the word video in a subject line, open rates rose from 7% to 13%, and the click-through rate on the email increased 300%. This is always a stat that I thought was so interesting, that when you put video in the subject line, you get a little bit of a bump in the open rate, but it's not massive. But then you get a massive bump in the actual engagement of people like clicking on the video or clicking on links and actually engaging with what's in the email. So to put those two together though, oh, go ahead, Kevin.
I was just going to say, I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit, Alicia. 5% raise in open rate is pretty big. That's a big deal when you're thinking on the scale of email sends that are going out, right? I mean, 5%, the difference from being, in the 20s potentially at like really good to being at 15%, which is okay. 7% you're not happy with. 13% you're like, I'm okay with that. So not to like disagree with you, but I do think that is something to know, that when I came into email marketing at BombBomb 6.5 years ago, whenever that was, I didn't think 13% open rate was like even worth talking about. That seemed like garbage to me. I have now learned 13% is actually not bad at all, right? Like you're very much in the average. So it's just good to have that context of a jump from 7 to 13 is feels like a really big jump to me. So
it is. It absolutely is. It's just, people, you're right. We do have unrealistic expectations with how much we want our email to be opened. And when you're doing mass sending, you do have to have a little bit more of a reasonable expectation. And 13% is awesome.
But that 300% is huge, to your point, right? That when you're getting not only people in the email, which is kind of a first initial win, but getting them to engage with your email is a massive win. And I think that's probably more what you were talking to that I misconstrued a little bit.
Well, and
that's so important.
Yeah, because the open rate is good. But if they just open it and delete it, it's not as great as when you're actually getting them to take the action, which is what that video really really jumps for you.
Totally.
The fourth one here, actually, I wanted to put those two together, the personalized and video real quick, because when you're sending one-to-ones, I have 10,000, somewhere over the 10,000 range of like one-to-one videos in my account. And I can tell you that like 90 to 95% of those, the subject line says video for Kevin, and then the deck I promised you, or follow up to our conversation, or here's that contract, or I thought of one more thing, video for the person's name, because you're taking that personalize, and you're taking the video, and you're taking the clarity, and you're putting them all right there, really, really clearly there. All right. This last one there is to pique their curiosity. And I see someone in chat saying I should.
They always catch us on those things. Every time they catch us.
If you want real honesty here, I was finishing this deck at like 10 o'clock last night. So
both those went to acting school. So, that's what it is.
Getting them curious about what's going to be contained in there, how it's personal to them. If you see these like subject line best practices are kind of building on each other there, right? So mortgage rates drop 0.75%. What does this mean for you? This is the kind of subject line that's so like, oh, I do want to know what this means for me. I own a house, right? So just playing off of that curiosity element, really, really powerful to get that email opened. And then your last best practice on subject lines is avoid words like free, donate, save, sale. You might think that saying like free offer contained in this email is going to get people to open your email. Statistically speaking, they are more likely to delete it before they ever open it up. Okay.
Well, and even the caveat to that is those email algorithms that are built to protect their recipients, they're going to spam a lot of those trigger words, right? If they don't feel like there's validity to you as a sender and they start to see these trigger words like she's got listed there, your recipient won't even see them. They won't even have an opportunity to do that. So really, really important to pay attention to those words for sure. I love that one.
Yep. All right. So we talked about how do I get more emails opened? That second question, how do I get more video plays? We just want to share 3 best practices here. This first one is really important because we do a timestamp at the bottom of every single video that lets people know how long the video is. We get this question in chat constantly on webinars. How long should my videos be? How long should my videos be? Here's the thing. I can't tell you how long every single video of yours should be. Okay. What I can tell you is that if this is a new video to someone that you have no relationship with and they don't know who you are, that video needs to be shorter. Okay. That video needs to be under 1 minute long, because that timestamp that says play 46-second video, if they don't know who you are at all and they see play 46-second video, there's a good chance they might press play. If they don't know you at all and they see that timestamp that says play 3-minute video, they're probably not going to play the 3-minute video. However, if you have an established relationship with a client and you just got off a call with them and you were going over a contract or a proposal, and after that phone call, you want to send a video following up and kind of highlighting some of the things you talked about on the proposal. Well, if you send that 3 or 4 minute video to that person you just got off the call with saying, hey, I recorded you a quick video highlighting some of the things we talked about in that proposal so that you can go back and reference them. Well, they're going to play that 4-minute video. So here's your formula. Okay. To know how long your video should be, you want the personalization and the value divided by depth of relationship. Okay. So if you don't really know them and there's not a ton of value in it and you don't have a strong relationship with them, that video needs to be short. Okay. If it's really personal and it's loaded with value and you don't know them very well, it can be a little bit longer, right? You have to think about this as an equation. Does that make sense to everyone? Kevin, did I miss anything there? Did I explain that well enough?
No, I think this is great because I've actually never seen this equation before. So this is even new to me, which is awesome. And I think it really defines it well. The way that I've always tried to simplify it is the longer I've known someone, the longer the video can be, right? The less amount of time I've known them, but that only defines the relationship part. And I think you're bringing other elements into it. Yeah, absolutely. I have sent 5-6 minute videos and all of them have been watched because I knew the person well. It was an important video that they needed to see. There was value there and it was a one-to-one, right? If I'm sending an evergreen video to new leads that don't know me at all, that video better be 30 seconds or under. Yep. Like I'm keeping that as short as possible. So I think this is a really clear way to describe it because it's really important to everybody wants a black and white answer to this. And unfortunately there isn't. I mean, the black and white as you can get is the shorter, the better. That's my always kind of general rule of thumb. If you're running out of value, stop your video. If you're rambling, stop your video, right? Those are kind of general rules, but I love thinking about these three things and helping that define that. I think that's really, really important for sure.
Yeah. So the second thing that we have at our advantage in getting your video played is that thumbnail. And if you've hung out around BombBomb and done any training, I'm sure you've seen us talk about the name, right? Putting someone's name on a whiteboard or using an app or whatever, but that's just one of the techniques. And so we actually have an acronym that we use called TUNED. Kevin, why don't you talk about what that acronym is? And we'll just kind of briefly kind of highlight some of those things you can do in that thumbnail, but yeah, you can really dive in deeper into that in the training for sure.
Sure. And to lead into this, I saw a chat come through from Dan as well, asking what an evergreen video is. Sometimes we don't realize that there are newer people on these webinars that don't know our terminology. We use the term evergreen as basically a video that can be reused time and time again. It doesn't name somebody specifically, right? Where I start out going, hey, Alicia, it's Kevin, and then go into my video. It's more of, hey, it's Kevin here, and I wanted to reach out to you because of X, Y, and Z. Right? I'm not naming them specifically and I can reuse that. So new leads, there's so many different situations. So keep that in mind with the tune method. You can use these for very hyper-specific one-to-one videos or more that evergreen style where you can use it time and time again. So the tune method, the T here is a really fun one. It's for team, right? I mean, I think BombBomb more than most because we are sending videos constantly to each other internally. Sometimes start to get a little numb to just seeing a person's face on the video. How do you change that up? We just did this on our customer success team because we're having a little holiday get together this week. We thought, man, what if we get a couple of us together and record a video together? It just changes the narrative. It changes the expectation. If you're used to one face, you might not be used to all three faces or the two faces that are in there. I saw a great auto example actually yesterday of how they used the team method. It was a lead that was interested in a car. And so they actually brought on one of their SDRs, one of the people that reaches out to all of these new leads, and one of their salespeople, and just said, hey, we want to introduce you to two names you might be getting emails from over the next little bit here. We just wanted you to know who we are, so we're not just random people reaching out, right? What a neat way that's different, that's unique, that's got multiple people. So that T is basically just saying, hey, have multiple people on there. We've even done it with Zoom as well, right? If you can't get actually in person, hop on a Zoom, record a Zoom, and then you can send that through BombBomb as well. So there's a lot of opportunities, but it's basically the idea of having more than one face on there can just change what people are expecting in there, which is really neat. And that kind of leads into the U, right? The unexpected. What can we do that's a little unexpected? I know we've got lots of stories of this, but a really funny one is with Steve Passanelli, our CMO. He recorded a video real quick while he was traveling on an escalator. And it's just him moving down an escalator, right? There is nothing remarkable about this GIF in the slightest. And that video got higher play rates on this email that we sent out than any email we had sent out before.
Yeah,
because it was new, it was unexpected. Yeah.
Most people don't, you don't see a video of Steve Passanelli usually on an escalator. He's usually in his office. So just that unexpected was enough to like make our play rates skyrocket on that specific email.
And I've even done that as well, Alicia. I know you and I both have done this. We actually played with this a couple of months ago with the webinar.
Yep.
We normally record our webinar invites and videos like you guys see from us sitting at our desks, right? In our offices. Alicia, you specifically went, I'm going to use my phone. I'm going to go out. I'm going to change the space. And it really improved the engagement on those, right?
I did a walking and talking for the webinar invite instead of the static, and it got more plays. Let's go through these last ones real quick so that they can really, like, if they want to learn more about how to use the thumbnails and how to use the tuned method, it's in BB Studios. But the N is name.
Personalized, right? You can either get a phone app that you can write somebody's name on. You can use a whiteboard. You can use a sticky note, exactly like what Alicia's holding up right now, right? Like, make it something that feels personal. Now, this works for Evergreen as well. It doesn't have to be, hey, Alicia. It could be, hey, Remax team. It could be, hey, whatever, right? Find something that's personalized to this group, this segment, write it, hold it up. The more they see it in the thumbnail, the more likely they are to click on that. The E here is emotion. And I think this is one that seems like a no-brainer, but is so easy to forget. Smile at the beginning of your videos. Make them fun, make them joyous. Nobody wants to watch a video of this guy.
Yeah.
No one's going to click on it, right? I don't even want to click on it. It's my own face. So make sure that you're showing joy. Ray, who worked with Bomb for so long, was the queen of this. She was just like always cheering and doing fun stuff at the beginning. Have fun with it. Show emotion. Bring that joy into people's office, into their day, whatever they may be feeling, and use that first couple of seconds in your video, in that thumbnail, to really help with it. It'll really increase your play rates. And then detail. Detail is a really fun one. That's the D in Tuned. You can use features like our screen record to actually pull up some information on the recipient. Pull up their website, pull up their LinkedIn, pull up their logo. There's a lot of different things you can pull up. As soon as somebody sees something that's them or something they have put a lot of time and effort into, they want to know what you're talking about. What are you saying about them? So it piques that interest, right? So it's a great way. So the goal of Tuned is not for you to use all of these. Pick one, right? You will overwhelm somebody if you try and get all of these into the first 3 seconds of a video. So team, unexpected, name, emotion, detail. Find some of those that you can start to play with and work with, and it will definitely increase your play rates for sure.
Well, and I'm about to show you a screen recorder video where someone is leveraging that D for detail to get someone's attention. But before I do that, we just want to touch on this last best practice for getting more video plays. And this is that you need to have text accompanying the video to drive the video play. I don't care whether you are sending a video over text message, over LinkedIn Messenger, over Facebook Messenger, over email. Whenever you are sending a video to someone, you need to have text accompanying the video to let them know what they are going to find in the video, okay? Sending the video is not enough. You need to tell them to play the video, and you need to tell them what's going to be found in the video. So as simple as, hey, Kevin, thank you so much for your time today. I recorded you a quick follow-up video to our conversation below. Press play. Let me know if you have questions. Maybe it's a text message to a lead that just came in and you're sending a video via text message. Well, just send a quick text message with that video that says, hi, you filled out a lead form on my website. I recorded you a video to introduce myself. Press play. Right? You need to have text accompanying the video to let them know why they should play the video if you want them to play the video. Okay.
I think about an email like a book. The subject line is the cover. Nobody's opening the book if the cover is not interesting. The first chapter is the text above your video. If the first chapter or the intro stinks, I'm not going to keep reading to chapter 2. We have to earn their trust to keep working through the journey of this email. They're not going to play your video if there's not something to show them why they should play it. That's why the text is so important, because they can scan that text real fast and go, yep, I need to play this. This is important to me. Yep. So it's a vital piece that's really easy to skip, unfortunately.
This is really important. Jared just asked in chat, the title and thumbnail are not enough for a text message, SMS or iMessage. Listen, you need to understand that when you send a text message, you don't know how their provider is going to display it, okay? BombBomb has no control over whether the thumbnail is displayed on the other person's end. Their cell phone provider decides whether that thumbnail is visible or not, over whether it's just a link. So yeah, you gotta include text with a text message video that says, I recorded you a video. Here's why you should press play, okay? I just wanna say this again. BombBomb has no control over how that video looks in a text message, whether there's a thumbnail or whether it's just a link. So you need to include that line of text with your text message video, letting them know what it is and why they should play it. All right, I want to get through these features real quick because we are starting to run out of time. We're almost at the top of the hour. If you have to go, we understand. We ran long. Kevin and I like to talk, but the recording will be coming out. But we're going to run through these features and answer some questions. One of our most popular features and one of our most popular feature courses is the screen recorder. I'm not going to show you how to use it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an example of someone using it, and we're going to highlight some of the things that you can do with that screen recorder. But before I press play on this, if you're curious about the way someone could use detail, this is a realtor who is sending kind of an unsolicited CMA to a client saying, hey, I just sold a house in your neighborhood. This could affect your value. I wanted to send you some numbers. But he pulls up their house on the MLS so that when they open the thumbnail, what they see is they see their realtor and their house on the thumbnail. That's a detail that is personal to them, so they're going to press play.
Hey, what's up, Stephanie and Andrew? Hope you guys are doing really well today and enjoying the freezing temperatures outside. At least that's what it feels like, that it's freezing. Wanted to show you some good news, and I'm showing you your house because this impacts your home's value. I just listed in Elm Creek Estates over the weekend a home, and I received 9 offers, 6 of which were above list price, 3 of which were cash. And so it's going to close early December. And if the current contract sticks, it's going to be selling well above the list price. And I wanted to show you that real quick. You're about 1,200 square feet. You bought for $130. This is that listing. This first one that I've highlighted in blue at $172.
I'm not going to play the whole video here, but what I want you to see is that we have a client pulling up the screen recorder. He can show anything on his screen and send it off just as easily as any regular BombBomb video, okay? This is one of our most popular features. And so if you feel like you want to learn how to use the BombBomb screen recorder and you want to understand some of the things you can do it, this is a feature course that you can take in BombBomb Studios. But just so you know, some of the things that you can use the screen recorder for that our clients love, going over documents, contracts, proposals, product demos, right? That can be an evergreen video. We already talked a little bit about that, but having videos in your account that you can use over and over and over again. You could do a product demo, have it saved in your account, and then send that out, right? Using the screen recorder. Websites, right? We see this all the time. You're trying to get someone's attention. Pull up their website, use the screen recorder, send them a video of your face down in the corner and their website. Well, of course, they're going to click on that. They want to know, right, why you're on their website. LinkedIn profiles for attention. We do this as well. Our sales guys, when they're prospecting, you want to get someone's attention, do a screen recorder video with their LinkedIn profile in your face. So when they open up the video, they're like, why is this dude on my LinkedIn profile? So yeah, and customer education. Again, that's another, like a lot of our videos, like some of our customer education videos that you'll see are us using the screen recorder to show you how to use the product. So lots and lots of things you could do with the screen recorder. Anything you want to add on the screen recorder?
No, I would just say I mean, you've seen some of the chats. It's a game changer as far as features go. If this is new to you, hop into BombBomb Studios, go through that course because it really explains how to use it, where to find it, what to do with it. And it just expands on all this stuff Alicia talked about. So yeah, it's a great feature.
The last feature is our in-video CTA. Again, This is one of our most popular features for people that utilize it, and a whole bunch of people that don't even realize it's there. Anytime you record a BombBomb video, you have an option to include an in-video CTA. And what that is it is that little box that will pop up right on the corner and say whatever you want it to say. Okay. Mine says my favorite Christmas song. It's really hard to you can't download a video that has a CTA on it and put it into a PowerPoint deck, because you lose the CTA, because the CTA lives on the BombBomb video. So I couldn't download it. We're running out of time, so I won't show you the video, but this is my out of office. I recorded my out of office saying, hey, I'm going to be out of office until January 2nd. I'm celebrating with my kids, whatever holiday you're celebrating. I hope you have a good wrap up to your year. Here's something fun. I put my favorite Christmas song up there in the link, right? Click on it, enjoy the music, listen to my favorite Christmas song. So the CTA can be really beneficial for lots of business reasons. You can include a calendar link, right? When you're prospecting, you can have a calendar link in that CTA that says, if you're interested in scheduling some time on my calendar to talk about how we can optimize your website, click that link and schedule some time. About us, or check out our website. You could put that on an evergreen video, right? A lead response video that's going out to someone. You could have check out our website and see what we're all about as that CTA, that call to action that they click on. Okay. Again, proposals. You could do a follow-up video and say, hey, I linked that proposal here in this video. Just click on it and access your proposal. Product demos, again, FAQs. You could have that linked in that CTA. Hey, I'm so excited to be working with you. I wanted to link some of our most frequently asked questions so that you know how to find information, right? All of these things are things that you can do and really use that CTA for. And what I love about the in-video CTA is that you get tracking information on it, right? Like if you're just sending someone an email and you're like, hey, go check out our website and learn more about us. Well, you don't know if they actually go there. You include it as a BombBomb CTA, and you're going to get all of that link tracking information as well. All right. We are way over. A lot of you that have still hung out with us, about 350 people. So we are going to take some time to answer your questions. Thank you guys for hanging out there. But just as a wrap up to what we're talking about today, if you really want to grow with video, you've got to make a plan for it. You got to put it on the calendar. But here's the deal. We know that if you just commit to growing in one or two of these areas and leveraging some of these strategies or features, it's going to help your revenue grow. It's going to help your relationships grow. But you got to focus, right? Ask yourself where you need to start. Do you need to get more comfortable in front of the camera? Do you need to start learning some of our tools? Do you need to learn some new strategies and best practices? And then use those learning tracks in BB Studios to guide you. They really walk you through step by step. And then, of course, we are sending out a follow-up email. It's going to have tons of links and resources. If you're not a BombBomb customer and you can't log into BB Studios, my suggestion would be to start a free trial. We offer a 14-day free trial that's going to let you start recording some videos and get a feel for it. And you can see BombBomb Studios on a free trial. So you can even log in, start your free trial, and start learning before you're even a paid customer.
That's not a bad gig, right? That's not a bad trade-off. I wanted to jump in and answer some of these questions because there's a few kind of around videos and what we can do with them. One question in the Q&A came from Ron about, is there a way to have your video automatically play in an email where they don't have to click the play button? I'm not going to get deep into the weeds of this, but this is something that we get questions about a lot because in theory, that sounds awesome, right? The hard part is we don't control most of that. The email providers, if they saw a massive video file that all of a sudden would automatically play, are going to go, no way, we're delivering that to our client. This feels bad. This feels wrong. Again, those algorithms are kind of reviewing a lot of that. The other flip side of that is if you tried to record a 1-minute video, that video file gets large quick. It would take so long for that to be uploaded into your email and delivered to somebody else. So the way that we do it is we actually host those videos in your BombBomb account, and then we provide the links to them with that animated preview in the email. So they're really, it's not just a not bomb thing to your question. It's not possible. It's not a thing that email providers will allow. So just know you're not missing out because BombBomb can't do that. It cannot be done across the board. Now, the flip side of that, to answer one of the other questions that was on here, and actually, Ron, this was your specific question. Because we host the videos, you can do a ton of different things. So he asked, is there a way to get it to play on my web page versus having it in an email or something like that? Absolutely. If you go to your videos tab in your BombBomb account, and you can find all of your videos there, there's a little edit button with an arrow on the far right of that video. You can click on that. We give you embed codes. We give you the link for that video. You can even download that video out of your BombBomb account and put it wherever you want to. That video is yours. So no, depending on what your website needs, if you need an embed code, you can copy and paste that into your website. It's going to be the back end. So talk to your developers, talk to whoever built that for you. Or if you need to download it out and put it in another system, you can do that. It's all within the videos tab. You find your video and then you look at the edit and the gray arrow button on the far right side of that video, and it will give you all the options of things you can do with that. I'm trying to see what other questions we've got. Have you noticed any other themes or anything?
I didn't see anything else. I love Richard in there saying, from an old pro, all caps, take the free trial. I love that. I don't think I see any other questions there. I think we got most of them. Waiting for the recording. I saw someone saying to not apologize for going long, that this was invaluable. So,
well, good. Seriously, to Alicia's point earlier, everybody, just save and favorite this follow-up email that you get. Not only does it have the recording if you want to review any of the information that we talked about, but there's going to be so many links. Do not take this on how to build an email, because we're going to provide more than you probably will want to on a standard email that you send out to people. But we want to make sure you guys have access to this for that growth mentality, right? As you're learning to use this tool to build more relationships next year, play around in BombBomb Studios, find courses, come back from time to time, because we've got a great calendar of new content that's going to be up there. If something piqued your interest, go search for it in BombBomb Studios. See if there's a course for that. We have, I think, 20 plus courses in there as of this second right now. So you can go find something that will definitely help you grow with this. But we just love you guys. We love having the opportunity to talk with you. We want to make sure that you have all the tools you need to grow in the ways that you want. And hopefully, I really believe that you will find this as another one of those tools that just helps you continue to be the best at what you do. So thank you for trusting us in that journey. It really means a lot.
I was just looking at all of the love in the chat, everyone saying thank you and wishing us wonderful holidays. We hope you have an absolute wonderful wrap up to your year, whatever holiday you celebrate. I hope that you find peace and presence with your family, the people closest to you. If you're not celebrating, enjoy the end of the year, right? I mean, it's exciting. Whatever 2022 has been for you, it's always exciting to kind of wrap up and reflect and get excited about the next year. So we're grateful that you spent this time with us. We'll see you in 2023. Commit to your growth. I think that's about it.
That's it. I couldn't have said it better myself. Happy New Year, everybody. We'll see you next
year. Happy New Year, guys.
Crazy.